So, Tarek, how was your day?
Could have been better, man. It could have been so much better. Oh no. You can't see my head. I always wear a hat.
Yeah. For Trevor McGee. The logo
yeah.
for Jenga.
Yep. I always gotta wear a Abercrombie for him too. And not see the original Jungle Book.
Yeah. Batman the Killing Joke. One of my favorite graphic novels of all time. It's one of the best Batman stories to tell. I have wanted to see this put to animation for years, you know? And from the trailers, it looks like a really, really, really faithful adaptation of this novel. And obviously, Tarek looks like he hasn't read it. Have you, Tarek?
I have not read it. I don't really know much about it, to be honest.
Pretty much, Batman goes to the Joker in prison and he wants to talk to him. And he's saying, this is either going to end as I'm going to kill you or you're going to kill me. And events happen. And the Joker's mission is to set out that one bad day can turn on someone insane. And I won't spoil anything because it's one of the best Batman stories. And it's like one of the most philosophical to his own arc. And it looks like a really faithful adaptation of it. I mean, what can I say? Just the lines from the trailer are just straight from the novel. Just the art is like taken from the panel and put on film. That's exactly what it's like. Like, you guys don't know how excited I am to see this. I'm even wearing the Shitbusters shirt that I bought after we saw Ghostbusters. And I knew I had to say this for today. How is it going to hold up, though? I feel like this could be one of the best Batman movies ever made. Because it's the first R-rated one. You could argue Batman vs. Superman one was, but this is the first, like, true Batman story that's rated R.
Oh, so they're making it, like, rated R and, like, an animated. Okay.
Yeah. I'm fucking excited, like, as hell, because it's, like, one of the darkest stories, and I can't wait to see this movie. That, like, the preview started 9 minutes ago.
Yeah, we should probably get in the theater.
There is one thing I want to talk about, and it's Mark Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he has voiced the Joker for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And you can tell that he's voiced it for a long time, because in the trailer, it felt like there were some times where you could tell his age was catching up to him.
I didn't watch the trailers.
Yeah, we'll see how it happens in the movie, but, you know, I'm worried that it's like, oh man, we got Mark Hamill versus, oh man, we got a good Joker for this, because I just don't see him in this Joker. Not in the Killing Joke Joker. The Killing Joker.
I don't know, Mark Hamill, his voice is just...
Let's hope he's, like, more youthful than he was in The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. God damn it. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't find it that enjoyable, to be honest.
It wasn't that good. Like, as simply as I can put it, it was just not that good.
So, do you want to at least start with the positives of this movie before we go in?
Yeah, there are some good things to talk about here. I think Kevin Conroy did a fine job in his Batman voice. Like, he always does okay. Like, I mean, okay. I mean, he always does great. You know, I mean, he's been doing the Batman voice for a long time.
Yeah.
Since the animated series from the 90s and all the Arkham games. And he's seen as, like, the iconic Batman voice to a lot of people. And this movie is no exception. He does fine for what he needed to do.
I feel like pretty much most of the voice actors did a solid job.
Yeah, most of them did a fine job. Say that for what you will. Most of them did great. Like, with what they were given. And, you know, when it actually becomes the Killing Joke, like, what I wanted to see, like, from the story, it's okay. It's alright. That's when I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks. Now let's get somewhere. Honestly, guys, that's it. Like, I really didn't like this movie.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else that's really stood out to me that was good.
Like,
or great.
And that's the first problem with this movie. Nothing, like, is memorable with it. Sure, it's the Killing Joke, but that feels like a footnote to a fetish film, pretty much, because that's what this movie is. It's a fucking fetish film. And I will talk more about that in a second, but I really just... Mark Hamill, I love you to death. You've done great as the Joker, but it's time for you to stay retired. Like, everyone was so hyped that Mark Hamill was going to voice the Joker in this movie, and it brought him back from retirement or whatever. I just didn't feel it the whole time, and, you know, my buddy Keegan was like, he's going to do great. You don't know what you're talking about. And now I can safely say I do know what the fuck I'm talking about. This is probably the worst performance I've seen of him as the Joker. Like, his design, like, the Killing Joke Joker, does not match his voice at all. And you can tell he's getting too old to do this voice. There are, like, scenes where his voice just sounds like this. I just really didn't like Mark Hamill in this movie. And I really wanted to see a great Joker in this movie because, I mean, it's his movie. It's called Batman, The Killing Joke, but it is the Joker's, like, origin, or, like, the most exploration we've gotten into the Joker's, like, quote-unquote origin. Because, I mean, it could be canon, it couldn't be canon, you know, whatever you want to decide, I don't care, but this is the Joker's story. And he just wasn't good to me in this movie. And I know that's blasphemy for me to say because, oh, Mark Hamill, you know, that is the best Joker, and, you know, hell to you if you say anything otherwise. I just didn't like him in this movie. Like, all of his lines were from pretty much the novel, which is great. You know, I'm glad I got to see The Killing Joke, but none of his performance was memorable, other than it was from the book. That's kind of a weird complaint to say, but...
A little bit, but... You know, I haven't read the comic book, so...
Yeah, I mean, it was just beat for beat from the story. Like, and that's all they had to do with this movie, and they still fucked it up.
Especially with, like, the first 20 or 30 minutes with
Yeah.
this movie. That
I heard there was going to be a prologue, like, you know, having Batgirl or something, and I was kind of looking forward to that. I'm like, Barbara Gordon's a pretty cool character, you know? You know, let's see her kick some ass as Batgirl, and you get that. You get that, and it's pretty entertaining to see.
So there's another positive, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, for like 5 minutes, I was sort of more into the movie than I was when The Killing Joke actually started. Because it started off, you know, Barbara Gordon's just kicking ass, hunting this guy named, you know, Pierce France, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they had nothing to do with The Killing Joke, and I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. Oh, maybe that's interesting. Oh my god, what the fuck are you doing? So, like, if you didn't know, Batman and Batgirl have sex, and I don't care if that's a spoiler. Like, I don't care. You deserve to know that before you go in. In fact, I'm going to tell you to try and miss 30 minutes of it if you ever try and watch this movie. Just skip ahead. Because, I mean, that first prologue section of Batgirl just ruins the movie. It really does. It's like, it creates this layer of awfulness and an alright onion, and it just ruins the entire onion.
It was pretty weird and kind of felt out of place.
Like, it was so fucking unnecessary. Like, who wanted to see, you know, Batgirl, you know, kick Batman in the face and get on top of him and start making out with him, take her shirt off? I mean, it was some horny fucking dude who was trying to make some cartoon porn. And, like, if you wanted to do that, make your own fucking thing and post it on Pornhub. Like, you didn't have to take The Killing Joke and make it an excuse to fucking have Batman and Batgirl, you know, fuck for your fanfic fetish. Because this movie is a fetish film. The entire prologue, they're talking about, like, Barbara Gordon in a library, and her gay friend is like, so who's this yoga instructor? And obviously she's trying to like fake that it's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And she's like saying like, oh, he's so commanding. And then when they finally have sex, it's so awkward. It makes that entire prologue awkward. And she's talking about like, no, it was so wonderful. And she says some really, really fucking cheesy, stupid line.
There's quite a few of those in this movie.
Like, the sex was so amazing. It felt like the twinkle in my taint was like,
What the
you know?
Yeah.
But what's worse about that is like, it's so uncharacteristic of Batman and Batgirl, because they both wholeheartedly respect their role as like the protectors of the city. They would never like stop, you know, fighting crime to fuck. Like, and even if they were into each other, which they have never been, ever, because it's always been like Batgirl and a Robin, which makes sense. They're
same age.
Batman has always been a father figure to Batgirl. Like, I mean, he's like a stepdad to her, pretty much. And if you want to make, you know, a stepdad and a stepdaughter fuck, I mean, that's fine. But keep that shit out of my Batman movie. Put that shit on Pornhub with all you other freaky people that like that shit. Like, keep that away from The Killing Joke. Like, it really did not need to be in this movie. In fact, like, it would have made the movie better if that entire prologue was just snipped out of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And like, but I can't say that because that's like a good half of the movie, pretty much. At least a third of it. Like, it had no place in the movie, and I was waiting for the fucking movie to start.
Took a while, didn't it?
Yeah, and I looked at Tarek, like, when it finally started, I'm like, thank God it's finally starting. And it just stretched out like a short movie, unnecessarily long, and it made the movie feel like it was too long. Even though The Killing Joke in itself is short, and you couldn't make like a full-length movie, you know, with that short of a story, you don't need Batman and fucking Batgirl to have sex to padding out the length of your movie. I think the only reason I'm not going to put a spoiler section in this video is because, I mean, really, if you know anything about The Killing Joke, like, you can watch, you know, like Comics Explained or a comic historian video on The Killing Joke, and you get the entire plot of the movie and what happens in it in like 11 minutes. Like, I mean, just go check that out and then go see the movie. Like, I mean, I wouldn't recommend you pay to see this movie. Personally, it's not great. Like, compared to Batman Beyond, it doesn't hold a fucking candle. The Dark Knight Returns, I mean, there's so many great Batman animated movies, and then there's this, and it's just a disrespect to those great movies. And I really thought this would have been the best one, because The Killing Joke is one of my favorite stories. And, I mean, Warner Brothers Animation fucked it up. Speaking of the animation, I swear to God, it felt like an episode of Futurama or Osmosis Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the animation, like,
Was, yeah, pretty...
it wasn't bad, but it was just so, like, mediocre for 2016.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Batman Beyond, like, that movie's so much older, and I think it looks so much better than this. Just in terms of animation, which is pathetic.
Just some parts of the animation felt a little bit lazy.
Going back to what I was about to say, regarding spoilers and stuff, what I would have done differently, instead of having the prologue of Batgirl, I would have just snipped all that out and replaced that with, like, the Joker's origin, like they did with the little flashbacks of, like, the Joker's past.
Yeah.
Have that be, like, the first 30 minutes of the movie, and you're good. Because those scenes were, like, interesting. They were important. But, like, in the movie, it slowed the movie down a fuck ton.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you know, Jim Gordon's, like, strapped in the roller coaster, and he enters the door, and then it cuts to, like, this sort of long flashback. And it messed the flow up bad. Like, The only reason this movie is rated R is because some dude, some Warner Brothers executive was horny as hell and wanted to see Batman and Batgirl have sex.
The movie was pretty tame besides that one scene.
Like, even when, like, they tried to cuss, they were like, enough with that BS. You know, like, you're rated R, say bullshit. Like, I don't need cussing in my movie, but I mean, that's just as bad as The Purge election year when they were trying to say the N-word instead of, or they were saying Negro instead of the N-word, but they might as well have, because, you know, that's what the writers wanted. And it just sounded stupid, and this movie sounded stupid. Like I said, when it gets to the Killing Joke, it's an alright movie. It's not great. And that's the biggest problem with this movie. And I can't give it points. Like, I only enjoyed, like, at least half of the movie. Or at most half of the movie. So I can't on good faith tell you to go see this movie. If you want to check it out, that's fine. But I would rather you find it online for free. Like, if it comes out on Netflix ever, maybe not, or like Hulu or something, but
yeah.
Don't pay money to see this movie.
I mean, is it only in theater like one day?
Yeah, today was the only day it was in theater. In a select amount of theaters. I know we had to drive like 20 minutes to come see it, and it was not worth the gas and not at all worth the price. It was like $3 more expensive here than it is at our normal theater. It just was not worth it. Yeah, me too, Tarek.
Yeah. I'm gonna go home, eat some pizza, and take a nap. Like I said, I liked the voice acting. That was pretty good. And I guess seeing Batgirl basically beating people up, that was kind of entertaining. And those are really the two big positives that I was reading text, sorry.
Yeah, someone's boyfriend just texted me. I guess I'm flirting.
Thanks.
I'll have to see about that when I'm done.
Okay, what is that?
It's just some car.
Oh, okay.
Just ignore it. Go back to what you were saying.
Anyway, like I said, I have the two positives, but the movie just wasn't good. I was kind of bored, and like, for a Batman animated movie that's focusing on the Joker origin story, it should have been great.
And that's exactly what this movie was not.
My gosh.
Man, everyone wants to complain of Batman v Superman that, oh man, you know, Bruce Wayne and Batman would never kill. That's so uncharacteristic of him. I would rather see Bruce Wayne and Batman kill and have the movie explore, like, the psychological consequences of him doing that than have him fucking Childs. Like, because, I mean, she's just a child to him. Like, it's so wrong for him.
I mean, well, Barbara's like, what, like 20?
I think in the Killing Joke she might be 25.
And he's like 40.
He's wrinkled. He's at least 45 or 50.
So, like, when he's like 20, she's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Age is just a number. If I'm 15 and I want to fuck a 30-year-old, that's fine.
Nambla. Batman will be joining Nambla soon.
Tarek, what are you giving this movie out of 10?
I'm deciding between a 5 and a 6. I might have to go with a 5, unfortunately.
I'm gonna go with a 5. I only liked a little bit, half of the movie. I should give it a 4, but Tarek's joke put me in a good mood. So, with a consensus of 5 out of 10, this movie is an ugly orgasm. Fortunately, I do regret seeing this movie, but I would not regret sleeping with someone who has an ugly orgasm. So with that being said, I am the Psychedelic Mystic, and that is my buddy Tarek, and we will catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.